How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another patch notes video where all we're going to be doing today is just looking at the patch notes, reading through them, and this is for the video is for people who just don't really like to read the patch notes, but they would rather listen to it in the background while they're playing and catching up on stuff and don't want to miss out on stuff in the game. I don't think this is going to be a long one. I really think this will be a very, very short one. There's not much in here, and we've not got anything like massive to talk about that we've been like thinking about in the past and whatnot. So what we're going to do is just read through these and see what's going on in game. So if you are not interested in listening to the patch notes, because there's going to be nothing else in here, I promise you that, then now is the time to click off the video. Anyway, let's get going. So this week it says, this week in RuneScape, patch week. We're keeping it brief this week as the team are hard at work on some major updates, including the Elder God Wars Grand Master Quest finale, which is going to be damn exciting. In the meantime, make sure you hit the latest Yak track and tune into our Combat Council livestream. Read on all the info. Okay, so we've got the Yak track, Path of You creators, probably the same thing as last week. You might have missed this with all the excitement over the Abyssal Slayer creatures last week, but that we've only gone and got you a new blimmin' Yak track. Okay, most people probably know this. Path of the Creators 2 is a big and full themed task sequence of godlike proportions. In fact, it's our longest Yak track ever. You have a whole 2 months to complete the tasks and unlock awesome Elder God Wars inspired goodies. Plus, for the first time ever, all 50 levels have skill and kill. Yeah, so this is all the same stuff, basically. The Yak track's out, the new stuff, and it's for big and full. And also, you can skill and kill the whole way through it, so you kind of can passively do this. You don't have to go out your way to unlock all the tracks. Killing bosses, killing mobs, doing Slayer, doing any sort of skilling whatsoever, you'll be able to get through all 50 levels of this. So this is definitely good. And I said this last week, I was like, this is brilliant. I'm so happy they did it, because I never really got through the Yak track, because I just couldn't be bothered. So now, I'm going to actually make some progress on it. So that's cool. Right, upcoming live streams. Wednesday, March the 9th, we've got at 5 game time, chat with the Combat Council. They may think of naught but bloodshed all day, but there's surprisingly friendly Combat Council is sending a few delegates to chat about the current meta and answer all your burning questions. This could be really interesting for anyone who's interested on seeing what they plan on doing, I assume, about balancing combat or all that sort of stuff, the meta of the game. I guess like magic being ridiculously overpowered at the moment and expensive, well, not overpowered, but just ahead of everything else by a ton. This could be the place to go, so definitely worth checking that out if you're interested in that sort of stuff. Okay, patch notes, let's have a look. How big is this? It's got a little bit in here, but not too much. Let's have a look. Okay, so general. Following feedback, an instance version of the Sentistan Asylum has been implemented. This is a temporary instance that will be available for the month of March. Only 6 players can be inside the asylum at a time, so if you are the 7th player to enter the asylum, you'll be put in an instance. All existing functionality remains the same. You'll simply have a quicker experience while slaying abyssal demons. It says quieter experience, not quicker. So this is cool and a good idea because it was like flooded, right? I think it may have been slowing down now, to be honest. So it may be, I'm not too sure, to be fair, but it may be a bit easier now to get there than it was. But at the same time, it is a really good idea, because if it was rammed to hell, making this happen, especially just for the month of March, it's a really cool idea. So we will be taking this out after March, which is definitely good because of player on Slayer dungeons and stuff. There's no need to keep it there like that. But yeah, no, this is a really cool thing to do, and I'd be interested in seeing if they do this for everything in the future as well, in anticipation for it happening. But we'll just have to see with that. The Spring Cleaner will now correctly disassemble high alchemy orichalcum salvage drops from the Abyssal Lords, fix an issue with a broadcast message for Jaws of the Abyss appearing while killing Abyssal Lords, fix an issue with Slayer contracts being listed as nothing instead of Abyssal Demons. Using Incendiary Shot, players were able to extend Igneous Cleave, Exekiel's special attack. This was unintended and has now been fixed. Targeted Magma Tempest will no longer cancel if aimed at a non-NPC object or scenery. A couple of Elder God Wars dungeon bosses were wearing Santa hats outside of an active combat encounter. 'Tis not the season. Hats have been removed from Zuck in the Arglaive store, so they must have kept their Santa hats that they had for Christmas, but they've gone now. The Third Age's augmented version of the Dark Shard of Leng has the correct inventory icon now. The new updated artwork for the Noble outfit has been plugged into Solomon's General Store. The Marketplace product information for the Cinder and Pulse cores have been updated to correctly reflect their functionality. Players were unable to complete the Eye of Het 2 mini quest due to Trindine failing to appear near the archaeology camp. This has now been fixed, and you should be able to progress through the mini quest without further issue. The poly item is now correctly rendered with no visual issues in the hero and customization interfaces. Corrected the cut on the female model version of the Noble jacket. Seryu's health bar no longer remains visible when you teleport out after defeating it. This is one that I always found a little bit funny. It went away if you hopped or anything like that, or went into a different boss encounter. So it wasn't a big deal, but the health bar used to stay there, so it looked like you were constantly fighting something. But You weren't, so it is what it is. The telekinetic grab spell could be used on during phase 4 on the Raksha fight to obtain shattered anima, bank it, and reuse it at future Raksha encounters. It is now no longer possible to use the grab in this way. Wait, that's only just been fixed? No, they fixed that ages ago, didn't they? Unless it happened again. This used to happen, like people used to do this all the time. You could pick this up and you could take it with you, and then when you got into the actual kill, you could use it in phase 1 and you could get stupidly fast times. If this was still happening, I'm very surprised that it hasn't been fixed sooner, because it wasn't like a something that was kept quiet. It was done a lot, right? I thought it was fixed, but maybe it was a second one. You guys will have to let me know if this was a different thing. Fixed an issue where players couldn't close a settings menu until the prize from a treasure hunter chest was claimed. Death touch darts should no longer miss their target while wearing accuracy affecting gear. What? Death touch darts were missing? Would you lose the dart if you miss? Oh, imagine. You'd be so sad. Elvarg's head can no longer be equipped and disappears after the Dragon Slayer quest. Fix an issue where the coin was missing during the Lucky Coin idle and walk animations. Fix an issue with missing imps during imp catcher quests. Fix an issue with the Bic Templar shield cosmetic which would float behind the player model when sheathed. Players will now be able to continue attacking Abyssal Lords reliably as they perform a teleport. The Champion's Ring critical strike boost will now correctly apply to enemies who are affected by the Parasite Bleed. So there is the community stuff down here, which sometimes is really cool, to be fair. Let's have a look. Some screenshots and whatnot, and I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so there's not really much in here. There's a few fixes in there that if any of those affect you, then good. I'm glad that you've got your fixes. There's a live stream coming up which may be interesting for some people that like want to talk about the meta and find out what they're planning on doing with combat and stuff. I assume they'll talk about the melee balance and all that sort of stuff in there as well. And that's pretty much it. The Yak track, we all know about the Yak track. I'm sure many of you are pretty much making your way through that. I don't know how you can't not know about it, because it's passive, and if you're playing the game, you're going to be progressing through this anyway, so you probably would have noticed that. But otherwise, there's not really much else to talk about, guys, and this is going to be a very short one. So thank you all for listening. I hope that it did help you out, and I will see you all in the next patch notes next week, or in the videos coming up through the week. See you later, guys. Bye.